International community.
Investigative journalist and regular Press TV contributor Kit Klarenberg is still reeling from the aftermath of his detention by British counterintelligence officers on his arrival into the UK from Serbia on May 17th. The British journalist was subjected to hours of intense interrogation where his political views, non-existent relationship with the Kremlin, and other aspects of his investigative reporting were probed. DNA was taken as well as digital devices confiscated. He explained the welcome he received from security personnel on his arrival.
And they immediately asked me to come with them and told me that I was being detained under the 2019 Prevention of Terrorism Act, Schedule 3. I think this is the very first time that this power has been used against a journalist in history. It is a sweeping power that provides for grants the police all sorts of powers, while robbing the individual on the receiving end of it of every conceivable right under the sun, including a right to silence. I would have been arrested if I refused to answer any of their questions, or indeed hand over the passwords to my digital devices. So, I mean, that's yes, a not particularly pleasant welcome back to the UK.
Unfortunately, there is more troubling news ahead for other journalists who refuse to toe the party line.
It's really quite remarkable and disturbing. And the UK is currently, there is what's called the National Security Bill is set to come into force very, very soon. And this effectively criminalises all sorts of journalism and even the possession of sensitive material. So, what the legal ramifications are for me personally, and indeed, the grey zone and all manner of other publications that are, daring to break with the narrative, so to speak, is anyone's guess. Again, I don't think any of the answers are good. So, yeah, I mean, to an extent, it does make sense. It's something that I kind of figured would happen if I ever returned to the UK. But equally, the sheer extent of it, really through me, and I'm still to a large extent reeling.
Authorities in the West are using increasing scare tactics in an attempt to intimidate journalists who are critical of their activities into either compliance or silence. We need only look at the inhumane, despicable and unjust treatment of WikiLeaks co-founder Julian Assange to see just how far they're prepared to go. The Assange reference is not lost on Kit. The frequent references to his journalism made it clear this was the reason for his detention.
Worried about whether the next article I write is going to land me in jail. That's something that you by definition have to think about. Even though to my mind I've done nothing wrong. I have reported on facts. They just happen to be inconvenient facts from the perspective of the British government.
Klarenberg and his supporters are urging a probe into his detention and raising awareness so others avoid a similar fate. Amina Taylor, Press TV, London.